day 2 of the art party. I am so excited to create with you today. I was blown away by all of the yummy sweet treats that you sent me yesterday. You guys did such a great job. Now, if you can hear me and if you are joining the lesson today, I want you to write your name in the comments. Tell me how old you are. Is this day 2 for you? Are you joining again? Or maybe you have found us today and this is your first time. Let me know. Is it your first time or your second time? Hey, Chloe, you are 10. Ava is 10 from Sydney. And also we have Evie from Perth. I loved seeing your artwork, Evie from Perth. That was fantastic. If you are here, let me know your name in the comments. Are you joining for the first time or the second time? Because this is day 2 of our art party. Hey there, we have Ellie. Back again for day 2. Grace, Sarah, Gabby. Hey there, Annika. Jed is here. Hey there, Neil. It is so fun to have Poppy, Archie, Maisie, and Kitty. It is so great when you guys can create with your brothers and sisters. I just love that. They kind of give you some ideas sometimes. Hey there, Levi from Bendigo. We have Shayla. Piper is back. Piper's coming for the second time. We have Sophie and Ethan. We have Eden and Adina. So fun. Liana as well. Archie and Henry are here. I remember your artwork, Archie and Henry. Evelyn and Matilda. Now, guys, I am kind of excited about today's artwork because we are going to be using paint. And I know some of you love that type of art supply. Hey there, Pranil, Haley, Ethan, Chevelle as well, Giselle and Ava and Nicole for the first time. So many of you did a beautiful job yesterday with your sweet treats. I told you that I would go and buy some cupcakes after I saw your yummy things, and I actually did. I wonder if you bought some cupcakes after we created yesterday. Hey, Chloe, Caitlin, and Gary, who are back again for the second time. We're going to be here all week. We are doing an artwork every day this week so we can start the year 2021. It's going to be a good year, guys. We can't get any worse than last year. So I really want to start the year with creativity and just celebrating all of the amazing artwork and gifts that you have. We have Savannah, Hannah, hey Hudson Ryder, Archie is here, it's his second day. And let's see who else we have, Austin, Mackenzie, and Charlotte. It is great when you guys post your photos in the comments. It really is amazing to see all of the artwork that is so different. Every single one of you made something really special and different, and I'm really pleased with that. So what I'm going to do is go through the art supplies that we need today. I'm going to go through our little project, which is over here. Hey, Orlando. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about this green sea turtle, because he's a very special turtle, and he's actually an Australian creature found on a Great Barrier Reef. So here we go. Let's have a look at our supplies. What you guys should have set up behind you is a piece of A3 paper, art paper here. Hey, Abby and Kiana, if you're joining, give me a little hello in the comments. Tell me who you are and how old you are. Hey, Nicholas. And I am using watercolor paints. So guys, you might have a set of paints like this one. Hey, Harriet. And I love these watercolor paints. They're dry and they look like this in a disc. Now, some of you might have watercolor paints in a little tube. So these ones are kind of very experienced paints. They're really special. And if you have these, you only need a really, really tiny little squeeze of paint. So if you've got the tubes, they work exactly the same way. You just need a tiny bit. And I'm going to be using my paint palette from Officeworks. Hey there, Eden. And I also am going to be using today these things called oil pastels. Now, if you don't have oil pastels, do you know what works the same? You could use crayons. If you don't have these, you could use crayons. And I just want to show you these little oil pastels. They look like this. They're like a really fat stick. They're kind of like as big as your finger. And then they're made like an oil base. So when I draw it on my page and put watercolor paint on top, they're not going to run. Same as crayons. Hello, Madison. Okay, I also have my paintbrush and I also have some water. So if you have those supplies ready, your art paper, your watercolor paints, your oil pastels or your crayons and your paintbrush, we are ready to go. So are you ready to find out a little bit about this turtle? Let's have a look. I'm just going to share my screen with you and show you what we can learn about this turtle. So here are the projects we're going to do this week. You can see the little turtle we're doing, and this is what he looks like. He's a little turtle swimming, surrounded by all of these beautiful coral and seaweed. That's what we're going to be drawing today. And here he is. Now, this is a picture of a turtle from the Great Barrier Reef. Did you know these creatures grow to be 100 years old or even more? So they're on the planet for a very long time. And they are found up on the Great Barrier Reef. And they are one of the oldest creatures on the planet. One fossil that is found of a turtle was over 120 million years old. So this is a pretty old creature that's been here a very long time. So it is very beautiful. And I want you to just have a look at all the patterns on the shell and all the beautiful patterns on his flippers and his head. They are super special. If you ever want to go see one, you can go to the Melbourne Aquarium and they have green sea turtles there. Now, there is a little bit of a problem with these turtles because they are endangered. That means that there is not many around. There is not many left on the planet. And the reason for that is sometimes when we go fishing, they get caught in the big fishing nets. And when they get caught, they don't survive. Their reef that they live on is also dying. And sometimes you can see this little turtle, he's caught up in some plastic. So all of these reasons mean they're endangered. So we need to protect them, which is why I'm super inspired to be drawing them today. I think that it could be fun to go research turtles after this lesson, and you could even send your photo to the barrierreef.org and you could tell them we did turtles and we learned all about them and how to protect them. Okay, so let's see. We had a few people joining. We have Mishka, and I said hello to Madison, and Bhavesh is here as well. It is so great to have Arabella joining us. We are going to get started, guys, and the first thing that we need for our turtle is our black oil pastel or our black crayon, okay? We are using black for all of our outlines. So make sure that you are ready. You can show me that you're ready by holding up your black oil pastel or crayon. And I'm just going to give you a little demonstration with my hands. Have a look here. Can you see how big my turtle is? 2 hands. I'm putting it just in the middle of my page. So grab your hands, put it in the middle of your page just like this. If you have tiny little 4 or 5-year-old hands, you might need to separate them a little bit. That's how big we want our turtle. We don't want tiny turtles. These green sea turtles are big. Okay. Hey there, Rose and Emily. Hello. Let's get started, guys. I'm excited. Here we go. I've got my black oil pastel. The first thing, right kind of in the center of the page, maybe over a little bit to the left, I'm going to draw the eye. So here I go. I'm going to draw a circle with my oil pastel. I think I'm going to draw another smaller circle inside, and then I'm going to color in a little pupil. So then there's like a black circle inside that. I have the eye. Now we are going to draw the little turtle's head. We have Micah and Joshie and Heidi and Mom joining. Hello there. Okay. Then we are going to do a backwards letter C. It's a similar kind of shape. Look at me. I'm going to go above the eye. I'm coming down, backwards letter C or like a U on its side, just like that for the turtle's head. Hello, Isla. Now, once we have the turtle's head, it's time for the shell. Let's have a go. I'm going to draw a straight line. So my straight line goes above the turtle's head and below. And then I'm going to use my finger to just practice the shell. So here goes with the shell. I'm using my finger. I'm going to go up, down to a point, and then I'm going to come back and around to join. It's always a great idea to just use your finger so you can get a great line. Here we go. I'm going to go up, up, up to a point just like that, and then I'm going to come back and join. So if I put my hand really wide, that's about as big as the shell that I have done just now. Now we have these fun little flippers, and you know what, after that turtle is almost done, here I go for the flipper. I'm going to do one at the front. I'm going to come down. I'm curving my line a little bit, and then I'm just going to go straight back up. Flipper number one. Hello, Evie. And let's have a go. Flipper number two. I'm going to start towards the back of the shell. I'm coming down. I think I'm going to go bump, bump, bump. And then I'm coming back, and it's a little bit skinnier as it hits the shell. Now they've got two flippers at the back, so maybe I'll just tuck another one in there. So here goes my line from the shell. I'm going down, and then I'm going to tuck it behind. You're not going to see much of the other shell at all. I think I'm just going to put like a little smile on my turtle. Here I go, just a little line here. Here's a little smile because we're doing a happy turtle today, and he is surrounded by beautiful coral. We have done the outline of the turtle. That was pretty easy. If you don't have a black crayon or oil pastel, the best thing to do is use a Sharpie marker. That would be a great idea. Use a Sharpie marker to do all the outlines, and then you can use watercolor paints on top. Okay, it is time to just fill it with beautiful seaweed and coral and sand. Are you ready? We have done our turtle. Let's go right down to the bottom. I'm going to go wobbly, 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 wobbly. The wobbly, the better. A wobbly, wobbly line. This is the sand right now. We have a layer of sand. Now, guys, your rocks and your seaweed and your coral can be any position that you like. I'm going to do some here, and I'm also going to do some here. I like those either side of my little turtle. So if you are with me, let's do a few rocks, any kind of shape. I'm going to start at the edge of the page. I'm going to go wobbly, wobbly, wobbly down to meet the sand. I think that I'm going to do another one just on top of that, wobbly, 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 it meets the other rock. And I'm going to do another one here because I can fit it. A wobbly line just like this. No perfect lines, please. We got to have them really wobbly and organic, which looks really cool. So you can see I did 3 rocks, and they look kind of funny, but I'm going to put some, let's see, I'm going to put some seaweed on it. I'm just going to bring this in a little bit too, so you might be able to see me a little bit better. Okay, so if you're done with your rocks, let's do some coral. Coral can look any kind of shape, and one that is kind of fun to draw is like this. I'm on my rock, and I'm coming up, around, and in, and then I'm going to go up, around, and back, up, around, and back. I've got all these really funny little circular shapes coming off my coral. Up, around, and back. So I have one really wobbly shaped coral. Yours could be spiky, or yours could be just really rounded as well. And up here, I have some space. So if you want to, you can add some seaweed. And my seaweed is just going to go like this. It's going to be a curved line just like this. And then I'm going to go from the top and back. And then it's going to hide behind the coral. So I think I could do a few more of those. I'm going to go up, wavy line. And then I'm coming back behind the coral. And maybe one just here as well. A wavy coral seaweed, and then back. You might be able to see a little bit more of that one just behind the coral there, and maybe a little bit more of this one too. Okay, I've got seaweed, coral, and rocks. Do you have those too? Let me know if you are ready to do the same thing over here. But before we go on, actually I've forgotten something. If you want to put starfish or shells, now's a good time to do it. So let's see, I'm going to do a little starfish on this rock here, and I'm making it quite big. So when we use oil pastels, it's a great idea to make your shapes quite big. It's really tricky to draw tiny shapes with this. Okay, you are ready over to the side for another rock. Let's start with our rock. We're going to go from the side of the page, and I'm just going to go across and down behind the little foot, and this one's going to go all the way to the sand. And I think I've got space here. If you have space, you could add it. If you don't worry. I'm going to just connect from that rock all the way down to the sand. So if you want to add a shell or another starfish, go ahead. I think my shell, or I really like the starfish actually. So here I go with my big starfish. Don't make them too tiny. There, that can be sitting on that rock. Now I have a gap, so I think it's fun to put some really wavy seaweed here. If you have a smaller gap, yours will be tiny. If you have a bigger gap, you could fit more. So there is no right or wrong. And this one, I think I'm going to be starting at the bottom. I'm going to go up and back a little bit. And then I'm going to go up a little bit with a wavy line. And then I'm going to come back. Then I'm going to go up again. And then I kind of come back. You can see what I'm doing. Maybe there's another little wavy bit. And then it joins back to the rock. I think this little sea turtle is looking pretty comfortable at home with all of this surrounding him. So guys, if you are done with this part, we can put away our black oil pastel. Are you done? Let me know, because we are going to add some color with our oil pastels and our crayons. So this is where you're going to choose a color, which is kind of hard for me because I love all colors. So let me see. I am going to choose a purple. In this artwork, I did the shell of my turtle green. So if you want to do a green, then you could choose a green. But I'm going to do some details on my turtle shell. So I'm using a purple. And you saw from the picture, it had all of these really beautiful shapes on the turtle shell. So what I'm doing is I'm just doing these really wobbly circles and with my purple oil pastel, and then I am doing a line inside and then a line inside, just like that. I think this is kind of fun way to decorate our turtle shell. Now, if you have a different way, if you are really fancy and can draw hexagons, you could definitely draw those, or you could just do like spots and color them in. So I'm just going to hang here and I'm going to do a few more of these, nice and slow. So here I go, wobbly, wobbly, wobbly. And if you are still drawing this in, then you go ahead and finish that. Any type of coral or seaweed surrounding your fun little turtle, you go ahead and do that. Now, part of this lesson, we're going to stop halfway through. And I am going to give you a few little artist spotlights from all of the photos that you sent me yesterday. I'm going to share some of them. So you guys can just keep going with your drawing, and I'm going to stop partway through the lesson for people to catch up while I share those. But you can see what's happening with my turtle shell. I am doing all of these fun patterns, and it's really simple. I've got just a really wobbly shaped circle. Then I've got one inside it, a bit smaller, one inside it. I'm going to do one over here. So if you're wanting to do a green turtle shell, it could be fun to do a green oil pastel. But I've done green, so I'm going to do a purple. I think that could be fun to draw a purple. All right, I'm just going to go a little bit more up here. So guys, you can take your time with this. And I just have one little bit left. My turtle is now looking super detailed. Can you see what we just did there? We totally changed the look of our turtle. Okay, let's go ahead and do some details on our rocks. Now, I know that you think rocks might be brown, but when you are under the sea, the Great Barrier Reef is so colorful, all beautiful colors. So I'm going to choose a red. And what I'm going to do is just do a few stripes on this rock. I can paint my rock red, brown if I want. But what will happen is with my oil pastel, when I paint on top, these lines will still be visible. You'll still see them, and it's just a really nice effect. So I'm doing some red lines on this rock, and I think I'm going to use my red as well. Now you can't, someone said, can we color with textures? You can color with textures if you don't use watercolor, because if you color with textures and put watercolor paints on top, they will all run. So if you're using watercolor today, the best thing to do is to use crayons or oil pastels or a Sharpie permanent marker. They're the three options. Okay, I'm drawing some more lines on this rock. Now, while you are here, maybe you want to color in your starfish with an oil pastel. It's a really small shape and you can totally do that. So I have this bright orange and I'm going to color this one in. I'm thinking this rock might be a dark brown. So this little yellow starfish will kind of show up really nicely. I'm also going to do a yellow starfish over here. Now, someone said, can we do fish? Yes, you can. You might have space up here. So that is a fantastic idea. If you don't want to do seaweed or coral, you could do fish. I know some people really love mermaids. So maybe you might even be able to fit a little mermaid in there, or like a little castle, like a sand castle in the back. Okay. So I've done the starfish. Now I think that we're going to move up here to do some detail on the coral and the seaweed. So let's see. I'm going to choose, I always never know what color to choose. Okay, I've got a pink. That's what I'm going to do. And I just want some details on my coral. So I'm going to give my coral some spots. So you can do whatever you like. Maybe your coral has like little upside down U-shaped bumps. Maybe that could be fun. So let's go ahead and do some little details on our coral. Now, guys, this part, a lot of people skip this part of their picture. They might do black outlines and then no details with our oil pastels. This part just makes our artwork pop and be really beautiful. Now, someone's doing crabs. Wow. That's awesome. Do some crabs. I think I remember from our picture of our turtle that it had like spots on the flippers. So I'm using my pink and I'm just going to put some spots on the flippers as well. And you can tell by the colors that I'm choosing, my turtle is not realistic color scheme. If you want yours to be realistic, then you might choose like a light yellow for this and draw them a really, really light yellow. But my flippers, I think I'm going to draw them pink or red because it's so fun. Okay, I am going to do a few little spots on his head, just like that. And guys, we are very nearly ready for our paints, but I want to know, where are you up to? Where are you up to? Have you done a whole lot of details on the turtle? Have you done a whole lot of details on the coral and the rocks? I have this color in my hand, but I'm going to switch it and I'm going to do some more because it's so fun. Here I go. I'm going to use this gold. I have a goldy color. I love putting little details on the sand. So what I'm going to do is use my gold and go wobbly, wobbly line, wobbly, wobbly, just at the very bottom. So if you want to add this, you can. And this is just kind of indicating that the sand is really bumpy. It's not totally flat. So I've got some wobbly lines. You could use orange down here as well. I think that looks great. And I'm going to go ahead and do one more little detail before we get out our paints. Now let's see. I'm going to use this. You think I'd be better at choosing colors by now because I do it all the time, but I'm not. Okay, I've got a brown and I'm going to do some stripes on this rock. So we're going to just continue with these details for a second, and I'm going to show you a few little artworks from yesterday. We are nearly ready. I think I like all of that. I've got one more. I just thought of it. Someone did a baby turtle. Charlotte did a baby turtle. I'm so glad that you could fit that in. What a fantastic idea. This is why I can't wait to see them. Okay, I have a green. And I just thought of this just now. I'm doing a green line, a wobbly line just down the center of my seaweed. So what is a great idea is you might find things as you go to add, just like I did then. Sometimes it's a good idea just to step back from your picture and see, can I add anything else? If you are creating art with your brother and sister, maybe you can ask them, what else could I add? Is there anything you think? And I have found something else. There is something else to add, guys, and it is up here. Does anyone know what it could be? If you have a look at this picture, what do you think I could add up here? Any ideas? It is some ripples in the water. We all know that water is super wavy. So I have a dark blue, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do a few little ripple wavy lines up here. Just a few, just at the top, because that's going to indicate we're going to the surface of the water and it's getting a little rougher. Just a few little, now they don't have to be blue. They could be green, purple, whatever you like. Just like that, maybe one more. Okay, now I hope you can see from the very beginning when we did our black outline compared to now, this looks way more interesting with all of these colorful details. So what I want you to do is just put down your colors and grab your black again, because I forgot to tell you a one line that's super important. So I'll just give you a minute, put down your colors, grab your black, and watch me. Can you please add this line? What I want you to do is find the middle point. Maybe it's about here, the middle of your page. And I want you to draw a black line. So there's a little bit here I can do, a little bit behind the seaweed and the turtle. It hides. Then I can draw a bit here and a bit here, just in between that seaweed, because we need the line to show where the sand is and then when the water is. So those two, it's the line that separates the sand and the water. So guys, are you ready? Are you ready for your paints? Are you here? I am going to give you a few more minutes to get to that point, because I'm going to show you some of the artwork from yesterday. So if you are still drawing, go ahead, keep drawing. And while I'm talking, you can just finish off. If you have finished, then I want you to look to the screen and just have a look at what we did yesterday. All right, I'll make this a little bit bigger. There we go. Okay, let's have a look. We have some spotlights from artwork. So here is Ruby and Lucas. And I am just so impressed with their little cupcake, particularly the one with all of those layers of icing. Ruby's just goes so tall with a strawberry on top. And well done, Lucas, for the shadows. You guys did a great job. Here we have Justin, and then we have brother and sister Ivy and Jonathan. Now these guys, I was super impressed with all of the border details and the details in the background. Ivy had some fun with so many text details. And then look at Justin's stripes. They're all colorful. Jonathan did some really expressive lines. Well done. Now here is Archer and his little sister. His mummy told me Archer was super proud of his artwork, and I think you should be, Archer, because you had really neat outlines. And I have a sneaky feeling that your little sister helped you. So well done. She looks super impressed too. And Grace, I would never have thought to do a rainbow table. Fantastic artwork, Grace. Here is Joshua, Georgia, and Lucy. Now I put these three in because they added something a little different. Georgia has done a cupcake that is turned into a little girl with a dress, or maybe it was a princess. That looks fantastic. Lucy included a little person in the background as well, and Joshua has got a beautiful rainbow backdrop. So I love all of these. They're all so different. We have a couple more. We have Archie and Henry. Now they are brothers, and we have Menasha And these guys all did orange stripes. They all look like they should go together. I love all of the border details with these ones too, guys, and all of the extra details on the patty pans. They look super impressive. I'd love to buy these in a shop. Okay, now the last ones, we have Kiara, who is 5. I can't believe you're 5, Kiara. That artwork is incredibly neat. Well done for creating such big cupcakes. Faith did 4 cupcakes. She fitted in another one and gave them all little faces, and she labeled them. And then we have Alyssa, who did some really beautiful textured strokes in the background and added a border and some shadows. So they were just so fun to see, and I loved seeing all of them. So what I want you to do is keep sending me your artwork so I can feature you tomorrow. Okay, I think we are ready for our watercolor paints. If you are with me, tell me that you're ready. I have mine out, and I have a little bit of a paintbrush. I'm just going to put it in the water, and I'm going to start with my turtle. So I told you I'm going to go ahead and draw a purple turtle shell. If you want to do purple, you can. If you want to do green, of course you can. Let's go. I am just going to paint over the top. And the great thing about these oil pastels is you can just paint right over the top. You don't have to be too worried about going between the lines. Someone did a unicorn mermaid in the sea. Fantastic. Okay, so with my painting, I'm going to go around the edge of my shell first. I didn't do that before, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go around the edge. I've got a bit of water, and I'm just spinning it around my disc. And to get a really good color, you got to spin more. If you want a really light color, you can spin less. So here I go around the outside. I like doing the outside, and then I can be a little bit speedy on the inside. So what kind of color are you doing your turtle? Is yours green? Is yours blue? If yours is blue, maybe you need a different color for the ocean behind it. What I'm doing is going from left to right with my brush strokes. Left to right, left to right. Not too crazy, all like this with my brush strokes. I want to see them really nice and smooth. So if I'm not having enough paint on my brush, you'll get a really hairy brush stroke line. So you need to grab a bit more water and a bit more paint. Now I think I'm going to go ahead with doing some pink flippers. I told you mine was going to be a little crazy, so I'm going to do pink. All right, someone is doing an amber, a beautiful like amber kind of color. I think that's like an orangey brown. So I've got pink flippers, and someone else is doing blue. Well done for a blue turtle. What kind of color are you doing? I am really excited to see all the different colored turtles, and I'm sure someone might do. Is someone going to do a rainbow turtle? I don't know. I think someone might like to do a little bit of a rainbow turtle. So I'm going to go ahead and paint my flippers and my turtle head. So we're starting with our turtle. And there's a reason why we're starting with our turtle and not the sand or the sea. What I want to do is start with the turtle, then I'm going to move down and let this dry before I paint the sea around it. We have a green turtle. Fantastic. That sounds super realistic. Well done. I'm just going around the edge, around the little eye. And I'm just wiggling my paintbrush back and forth. Okay, now, while we are painting, I want to ask, what do you want to call your turtle? You don't have to tell me yet, but at the end of the lesson, I'm kind of interested. What is the name of your turtle? Got to give these guys a name. Okay, someone's doing a greenish blue color, like an aqua. That sounds fun. So my turtle was finished. So now I'm going to start at the bottom and work my way up. So I'm going to go ahead and do some sand down here. So my sand is like this orange. It's like a really bright fluoro orange. And I'm just kind of going back and forth along the bottom of my page to do orange. Now, when you do the rocks, they've got to be different colors so they all stand out. So some names for our turtles. What could they be? I know, oh, I should have thought of a name for my turtle already. I actually have no idea. Someone's doing green and pink for their turtle. That sounds like a fun turtle. Maybe my turtle can be Tilly. Tilly the turtle. It's going to be a female turtle because those are the ones that lay eggs. And do you know these green sea turtles, they lay up to 100 eggs in one go. That is a lot of eggs. And that's why some little baby turtles, not many survive out of the 100, only a few. That's why they're so endangered as well. Okay, so I'm doing my sand right now. Now let's see, I'm going to go ahead and do some rocks. I have this reddy brown, like a maroon for the rock. And I'm going to paint that there just so my yellow starfish really stands out. Now, someone called their turtle Seashell. You guys come up with great names. That is a great name. Someone's got Max the turtle or Gwen the turtle. That's great. I want you to keep painting. You can kind of think what you might want to call your turtle. But we're still going to just keep on painting this little rock. Now, if you are still kind of drawing or maybe you're still painting the turtle, that is totally fine. Don't worry at all because you can just have a look at what we're doing. I don't want anyone to rush ahead. It's much better just to take your time and make your brush strokes really lovely and smooth. Someone called their turtle Oceana. That makes sense to me because it's in the ocean. Well done. What a cool name. Okay. Rock number 2. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and do my rock number 2, this blue. I'm doing it blue because I'm thinking of doing my ocean like a green because I've already done an example of blue. So I'll do this one blue. I'm sure in the Great Barrier Reef there would be blue rocks. I am sure. Hannah's turtle is called Ice Cream, and there's a mermaid and there's fish around in Hannah's artwork. So that is fun, Hannah, and I'm excited to see that. Wow. Someone was going to call his turtle Mac, and now he's decided Big Mac. Well, that makes sense because these turtles are so big. They're so big. They're like this big. So I really encourage you, if you haven't seen a green turtle, you should go to Melbourne Aquarium and check them out. They are really, really beautiful. So here I go with my rock. I'm doing a really dark brown rock. And I think that I'm going to do let's see, like an orangey red rock as well. So guys, you can see that I'm using a lot of colors, a lot of beautiful colors. That is what is in the Great Barrier Reef. There are so many incredible colors down there. So I'm not just going to go for yellow sand, brown rocks. That can be fun, but I want to show off all of the beautiful colors in the Great Barrier Reef. We have some more turtles. Piper's is called Harvey. That's a fun name. I have a green rock coming up. And someone has done a unicorn mermaid in their artwork as well. You guys are so creative. Now that means creativity is a really important skill. You guys are born with it, but sometimes when you grow up and you become old like me, you can grow out of creativity because you get too busy with doing life and doing jobs. So it's really important you hang on to it and that you keep doing things like this, like art and like building, engineering, lots of science, all of those things, heaps of sport as well. All of those things will make sure that you keep creative. Okay, now let's see. I have done my rocks, my starfish, and my sand. Up here, I've got some coral and seaweed. So I'm going to go ahead and do some coral now. I have a really bright pink just here. It's like a fluoro. So I'm going to do mine this fluoro pink color. Are you doing your coral and your seaweed as well? Can you tell me where you are up to? I would love to know, because you might still be on your turtle, which is totally fine. And you can kind of get some ideas from looking over here and at my picture of what you might be able to paint and color in. Charlotte's turtle's called Rain. And we have Hartley with heart patterns on the shell. That is a really great name. I would never have thought to put heart patterns on the shell, so well done. This is why I love creating art with your age group and kids, because you come up with things that we would never even guess. Okay, here I go with my little coral here. So where some of you are still painting the turtle, and that is fantastic. You keep painting the turtle, because when you get down to here, all it is just choosing different colors. You could choose different colors for the sand. I'm going to go ahead and choose a green now. I think I'm going to do some green seaweed. So what other colors could you choose? And where are you up to? Someone's doing the rocks, which is great. So I will just slow down a little bit with my seaweed just here, and I'm going to choose a green. And I'm just going to paint really lovely long strokes. Now, if you're being really speedy today and you're going super quick, sometimes it's a good idea just to slow down and make sure that we're painting really beautiful, smooth brush strokes. So they're coming down the page for my seaweed just like this, and I have the right amount of paint and water on my paintbrush. So if you're a bit of an experienced artist, like you've done this a few times before, then you can just make sure you're focusing on your painting and your brush strokes. So I'm doing a green seaweed just up here, but I think I should do another color for the other one. I'm going to decide when I get over there what kind of color seaweed I'm going to do that one. We have, someone said, can you do seahorses? Seahorses would look great as well. I want you to still do the turtle and all the rocks and seaweed, and if you have some room, absolutely go ahead and do some fun seaweed as well. I'm going to do this little bit of seaweed just here with my really smooth brush strokes. They're going from the top to the bottom. So I'm not going to go like this with my paintbrush. That is super crazy. We want to do nice long ones, up and back or down and up. They're really nice ways to do some painting. Okay, now I'm just going to switch. If you have a look, my water is like brown because I use brown for my rocks. So I'm going to switch to fresh water. Sometimes if you use brown water and then you want to do a really bright like color like a yellow, it'll turn murky. So it's a really good idea when you're using watercolor paints to have a spare jug of water there, just in case you need to switch. So I've got some fresh water and I'm going to go ahead and do my last little bit just here of this yellow seaweed. I think it needs a little bit more color. So I'm going to go ahead and actually change my mind and do orange. So guys, where are you up to? Which part of your painting are you doing? Maybe you're up to the rocks. Maybe you are still doing like your little starfish on your rocks. You go ahead and finish that stage of wherever you're up to. And I'm just going to go ahead and finish this little bit of seaweed. And I'll show you how to do the last bit, which is our sand and then our ocean. So what a fun thing to do after this lesson, if you've really enjoyed learning a little bit about turtles. These ones are called green sea turtles. So you could go on to the Barrier Reef website and you can learn all about them. They have heaps and heaps of information about these amazing turtles and how we can keep them safe. I was reading that there is a really a big island where they all come to nest. And that's this special island that we really need to protect, because sometimes they don't go there because it's all polluted. So I am ready for the sand. Are you guys ready for the sand? If you are, give me a thumbs up or a yes in the comments because I am going to go ahead and do the sand and then the ocean. So the sand for me, I'm going to do yellow because I don't have much yellow on my paper already. But if you want to do different color, you could do orange sand. You could do like a little bit of let's see, red sand. Yes, some is already, some is doing the sand, and they're getting used to the paint ratio. So what I like to do with my paint when I'm getting the water of my brush, I go dip in like this. Everybody watch me. I go dip in, and then I go up the side just like this. I kind of bring it over the side of my little water jug, and that's kind of enough water to go into my little palette. That is a really good skill to learn when we are painting. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and do orange. I've decided orange sand for me because I've run out of yellow. So here comes my orange sand, and I want you to be super careful around all these little edges of the rocks and of the turtle. Now, if you have too much water on your paintbrush, you can dab it on a piece of paper towel. That's always a good trick. All right, some of you are ready. Some of you are still painting the seaweed and the rocks, which is fine. But you can just kind of imagine yourself doing this part of the project. I am just being super, super careful in all of the little gaps. Just here, I'm being really slow around these gaps. I don't want to paint my turtle orange, and I don't want to go over the top of my seaweed either. So I'm dipping in my water jug, and then I'm kind of brushing it over the edge just to get the excess water off. Now, Kiana named hers Nella. We have a Nella turtle. Hey, I love that name for the turtle. That is a really good name. It reminds me of Nala from The Lion King. I love that movie too. So I am going to go up here now. I have just realized I have done an orange seaweed, and now I'm doing orange sand. So they're not going to stand out that well. So I'm just going to have to put a little bit of red with my paint. So what I did there was I got a little bit of my orange and then a little bit of my red. Just a little bit. Just so this color is different to my seaweed. And if that doesn't work, do you know what? If that doesn't work for you, I'll show you what I would do. I don't like how that worked out for me. So I know that my seaweed here, it's already dry because I can touch it. So I'm going to go ahead and paint over the top. I'm painting over the top of this, and I'm trying to turn it a little bit more red so it stands out. So even I make mistakes all the time in my artwork, and I just try something else. And if this dries, I could even do another layer on top to make it stand out a little bit better. Okay, it's really a good idea to I never get it right the very first time. I always have a second go. So I am ready for the ocean. And the ocean, I'm going to start at the bottom and I'm going to work my way up. And I'm going to go ahead. I know I said I wouldn't do blue, but I've decided I think that blue would look kind of cool. So I'm going to go ahead and get a blue. I might add a little bit of green, but this is how I'm going to do my ocean. I'm just going to go around the edges of this little part of the seaweed, and I'm going to go around the edge of my turtle as well. I'm just going to do that first. I need a little bit more water. And then I'm going to wiggle my paintbrush in these little tiny bits. And I'm just going to go back and forth, just like this. And I think I'm going to do this part first. So I'm going to do all the blue on maybe the left-hand side, but I'm going to leave a little bit at the top. See, I'm not going to paint all the way to the top just yet. I'm going to come down in between these little seaweed bits. So the reason I'm leaving the top is because I want to do a few wobbly lines, like my example over there. So you can go ahead and paint most of your ocean, whatever color that you like, and just leave a little section at the top for some wobbly lines. So someone's turtle is called Flash Tag. That's fun. You could stick some or do some glitter glue after the lesson on your turtle, and then it could be really flashy. So here I go with my blue. I'm just going to go super slow for this last little bit, and I'm going to keep going. Someone knocked at my door. I'm not going to go and answer it. All right, here I go. I'm just going to paint over here, just over here, just like this, and I'm going to go around this last little bit of seaweed. So I am nearly finished, and I'm just using really nice brush strokes back and forth. I can tell that my brush is a little thirsty, so I'm going to keep going. And guys, I am nearly finished my day 2 of the art party project. In a few minutes, I'm going to show you what happens on day 3. It is super fun. It is super, super fun. And if you are finished, I want you to tell me what is the name of your turtle if you haven't already, because I am excited to hear all the super names. I think I called mine Tilly the turtle. Mine's called Tilly. Someone called theirs Nilla. And someone called their turtle Turtle, which makes sense as well. So I am finished nearly just at this point, my ocean, and I left a little top. So I'll show you what I'm going to do at the top. If you left a little bit of the top as well, I'm going to grab a whole lot of blue on my paintbrush. Someone called theirs Mia. Mia the turtle, beautiful. And at the top, I'm going to do some wavy lines, just like this. And my wavy lines can go over the blue I've already painted, and then they can go in the gaps as well. So it kind of looks like the ocean's like a little bit rough at the top. Someone called their turtle Minnow. I think Minnow is a really sweet name. And we have Emily the turtle as well. So guys, remember at the end of our lesson today, remember what we do? We're going to take a photo, put in the comments. And someone, Piper said that I think she did 2 turtles. Maybe she did a baby turtle. And one of them, the sister turtle, is called Teal the turtle. Teal the turtle. And then there was another one as well. So I'm expecting to see mermaid unicorns. I'm expecting to see different colored turtles, baby turtles. I can't wait to see them. We have Kiwi the turtle. You guys come up with really fun names. And you know what? I have finished my artwork. I am pretty pleased with how my pink and purple turtle turned out today. And if you're still painting, I want you to sit there and still finish. I don't want you to get up and move around until your turtle is finished. And so what I'm going to do, because it's the end of the lesson for me, I'm going to wash my paintbrush, and I'm just going to do it like this. I'm going to put it at the bottom of the jar, just like this, tap it over the edge. And can you see the beautiful point that I've got there? That's how we want to keep our paintbrush. I'm going to put it in a jar so it sits upright. Now these fun watercolors come with a lid. So I'm going to put the lid on to keep them nice and safe. And all my oil pastels in the box. That's all we used. So that is super fun. We have a few other turtle names. What are they? Evie did 2 turtles. They're called Evie and Annabelle. And we have glitter glue. Some people put glitter glue. I think I'm going to do that as well. It could like sparkle and definitely be that flash tag idea. Evelyn called hers Amber and Matilda called hers Bella. These are gorgeous. Now, if your paint, now a good question. What happens if your painting rips? It means that you put too much water on it. So the paper that you used will probably didn't absorb all the water quick enough. So you just got to leave that flat and let it dry. That's a great question because using the right amount of water is a really important technique that you learn from doing it more and more. So some of you are still not done, which is totally fine. I want you to keep going and finish your beautiful artwork. If you are ready, take a photo and put it in the comments. I can't wait to see. Remember to put your name. And I'm going to show you guys what we are doing tomorrow. Okay. Let's have a look just here. I'm going to get it up on the screen. Here is our artwork tomorrow. It is a party pooch. A party pooch. He is going to be so much fun. So you could do your little, where is it? Over here. Over here. You could do your party pooch as a black and white spots. You could do a brown pooch, a pink pooch. You can design a special outfit for him. Is he going to have a crown or a party hat? We're also going to draw a cityscape on in the background. So that's what's behind our little party pooch. It looks like Melbourne City. So I have there a white oil pastel. If you have a white oil pastel, that is great. Otherwise, you can just use crayons. A white crayon will work the same way. So that is what we are doing tomorrow at 10 a.m. I can't wait to see all of your beautiful artworks today. If you're still going with your turtle, then I want you to finish. And someone said they're still going, but they're having lots of fun. That is definitely the point of this week, is for you to start the day creating art and having a good time doing it, and giving your mom and dad a little bit of a break so they can have an extra morning coffee or whatever they need to do. So I'm going to say see you later. I want you to finish off your artwork. Make sure you pack everything up. And if you want a chance of being featured in our shout outs, make sure you take a photo too. I'm so glad that lots of you are so proud. Someone said theirs is so colorful and they're super proud. Good on you. I can't wait to see them all. I am going to say see you later, and I'll see you tomorrow. If you want to, bring your party hats to our lesson because we are doing a party pooch. I will see you then. Bye, everybody.